Hey everyone, welcome back. Melanie Nelson here with part 2 of the 3 fears that really stop us in our tracks from really pursuing our goals, our dreams, what we want to create in our lives, stepping into leadership, a new business, even completing a health program to give our whole body a facelift. Any time that we want something that's outside of our comfort zone, outside of what we currently have in our lives, we're going to come across these 3 fears. Subconsciously, we may not be aware that we're coming up against them. We may not even be aware that we are using them as excuses not to move forward. So in part 1, I talk a little bit about what are fears and are they real, and can we reprogram our minds for success? Absolutely, because they aren't real. They're just manifestations of, ridiculousness. Like the fact that I love being on stage, but I'm really uncomfortable creating this YouTube channel. It's just a perfect example of how unrealistic and weird fears are. So we talk a little bit about that in part 1. So I'm going to cover the first fear, which is fear of success, which, seems kind of weird because don't we all want, more happiness, more abundance, more love, more money, more free time, a healthier body, a better relationship? I mean, don't we want those things? So why would we fear them? Well, and I warned you in part 1 how sneaky fear of success can really manifest itself. And one of the ways that it can really manifest itself, and I have some visual aids here, so hold on, because one just fell to the ground, is responsibility. The fear of responsibility. Can I handle it? Can I handle the money? Can I handle the success? Is it gonna, it won't last. I won't be able to handle the bills of the new home. Maybe you've actually experienced this. Once you've created some success, you got a nicer car, you got a nicer house, things are going great, and you're in fear. You're in fear of losing it. Like it's not going to last. Like what if something happens and we can't pay all these bills? And suddenly it's really, really scary, right? This fear of responsibility. So sometimes that fear will show up after you've created success. And sometimes it will show up in a sense of just like not wanting to actually create the success that you desire because you're scared that it's a huge responsibility. Maybe your parents, maybe you were modeled this experience of not being able to handle money or wealth, and the responsibility was too much to bear. Maybe there was a past experience that you experienced where the responsibility of success was just so great that it created negative connotations for you, which really feeds into the second way, and that's just these subconscious negative beliefs we have around success. Like, ladies, you go to the gym, right? And you see some skinny, fit girl, and instead of being like, wow, I wonder what she did, she's amazing, I should go ask her, you're like, bitch. Right? And so we actually negate success even though we want it. We actually push it away by having these negative emotions or beliefs about success. And this can be just as true about money. In fact, most people have a vast majority of negative beliefs around money and wealth. You see a guy, on the side of the road with a flat tire, and he's in some Honda or Ford or whatever, and you're like, oh man, should I stop? Poor guy, maybe he's got roadside, somebody else helped him, who knows, but you don't think much of it other than you feel sorry for the guy. But you see a guy with a fancy BMW or Jaguar, and he's got a flat tire, and you're like, rich prick, totally deserves it. I mean, why? Why would somebody deserve something bad just because they have a nice car? I mean, it doesn't even make sense, but it's really been programmed into us, right? For most of you, you actually experienced these negative beliefs and heard them growing up, like, money is the root of all evil, and rich people don't get into heaven, and rich people are greedy, and you name, we can't afford it, and there's all this unpleasant emotions and beliefs around money that actually negate us from creating the success we want. So let me give you an example of where it really shows up in life, in the media, right? I mean, gosh, just a few years back, the 1%, was demonized like crazy. And here's what's so crazy is that the 1%, you guys, is the 90% of the 1% is your dentists, your doctors, your lawyers. The 1% of the 1% is the corporate America, is like, Kraft and Johnson & Johnson and like this, Facebook and these huge corporations that are making millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars a quarter in profit and finding tax loopholes. But the vast majority of the 1% is actually just people like you who, maybe invested a little bit more in their education, both for, a degree or in business, and, took a risk and, built a practice, or, sacrificed, worked really hard, built a company. These are these middle-sized companies. They're actually in the 1%, you guys. So this whole negative connotation around the American dream of working hard and creating something for yourself is actually counterproductive. It's very prevalent in Hollywood. So, look at Titanic, for instance. That's a great example. Great movie, true story, but all the rich people were at the top of the boat, and they were all snobby and miserable, and nobody loved their lives. And even the guy who stole the baby to get off the boat, I mean, you just wanted him to die. You're like, oh, the guy should drown. He's such a rich prick, right? And so selfish, and like doing something so unspeakable. And then, the poor people are down at the very bottom of the boat, and they're dancing and they're partying, and it's like life's amazing and we're standing on our toes. And like, when I was broke, when my family was poor, when we had food delivered to our door, there wasn't a party every night. We weren't dancing. There was stress and strife and arguments and fighting and separation and you name it. So this whole idea, like, of course the villain is rich because they want to, they want to like, shoot a missile to the moon. Well, that takes money, right? And so it's just this really common thread that if you're not careful, subconsciously you can buy into these negative beliefs around success. And that will subconsciously push success away, because you have negative beliefs around success. How about social consequences? So social consequences are like, oh gosh, I'm gonna leave some people behind, and maybe you've already taken action towards what you wanna create in your life, and people have given you a hard time. They've put some pressure on you to be more normal, to do something that's, get another job, or go back to school, do something normal. Why are you doing, that network marketing company? Or why did you start your business? Or, and they're poo-pooing your dreams and your goals, and things are not, there's social consequences in your network and circle of friends and family when they're really just trying to look out for you and keep you safe, but it ends up being very discouraging. And so those social consequences can be strong enough that we don't want to go outside the norm. We don't want to go outside our network's norm. We are afraid of the social consequences of what that might mean. That might mean they don't want to be your friend anymore. Oh, you're changing. You're not the same person anymore. Negative connotations and external perceptions around your dreams and your goals and your direction that they're not understanding. But here's the key, you guys. Your dreams, your goals were put into your heart. You're the only one who needs to understand those. Nobody else needs to understand them. Just you. They were put in your heart for a reason. And they have their own goals and dreams, and whether they go for them or not is not any concern of anybody else's. So you just stick to what your heart's telling you to do. Don't worry about those social consequences, because the people who are going to help you get where you want to go, they're going to show up when you have the courage to move forward. The other one's kind of sneaky too, is this incongruence of self to success. Meaning you're afraid that you would be a fraud, that you'd be found out, that, oh my gosh, I'm not really this successful person. I'm not really this talented. I'm not really everything. I don't really have everything all together. And what if I got found out? And so there's an incongruency. So there's this fear of being found out or having this incongruency within your life. And so these show up in really sneaky subconscious ways. These are not as obvious as the ones I'll go through coming up: fear of failure and fear of what other people will think. Those show up in incredibly obvious ways. And when I go over them, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's me. Oh my gosh, that's me. Oh my gosh, that's what I do. Right? And so these ones, you really have to be paying attention, and you really have to get honest with yourself about, hey, am I afraid of being incongruent or being found out? Am I afraid of the social consequences of losing my social circle, my friendships, my family, and disappointing them and having them think I'm changing, or whatever the case might be? Chances are 99.9% of you have some negative beliefs around the success that you want to create. And your success, your definition of success, is very different than mine, than anybody else's. Nonetheless, you have negative beliefs around success. And so it's a very, very good idea to explore some of those. There's some great books that can help you with that. If it comes to money, Think and Grow Rich, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind Intensive, our book, Catch Fire, How to Ignite Your Own Economy, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrants, all great books to help you start reprogramming your mind for monetary success and wealth. And also the responsibility that comes with success. It's no different. You have problems no matter what. So would you rather have broke people problems, or would you rather have rich people problems? I'd rather have rich people problems, because we're going to have problems in life no matter what. The responsibility is irrelevant. You still need to take care of your family. You still need to take care of yourself, and you still want to live your purpose and make a difference. Nothing changes. You actually just have more resources to go about doing that, and in a more fun and comfortable way, because money is a tool to be able to give you what you want in life and make a positive change in the world. And money only magnifies who you already are. So if you're a jerk, you're going to be more of a jerk. And if you're a kind, generous person, you're probably going to be more kind and generous. And so money is just a piece of paper. It's just a coin. It's just a tool to be able to do what we need to do with our lives. And it makes life easier, more joyful. It's not the things that money buys, it's the experiences that it can create, the ease in which your life, you can solve your life's problems. And so it actually helps the whole responsibility thing, because man, I remember what it was like when I needed to fix my car and I didn't have enough money to do that, or that I was scared I would not be able to make the rent check that month. And those problems suck. Okay, so believe me, once you grow yourself into the person who's earning a significant income, you can't actually get there without growing that responsibility muscle. That's why we call it earning wealth, versus winning the lottery. When you win the lottery, you haven't built the skill set. Congratulations, you're far more likely to claim bankruptcy, because you haven't built the muscles, you haven't built the responsibility muscles and the growth in here. But when you earn wealth, when you build it from the ground up, when you start from scratch, guess what you build? You build the ability to handle it. And so success is yours for the taking if you can reprogram your mind. And again, reading those books or listening to those audiobooks is a great way to really start reprogramming your brain around wealth, money, abundance, business success, those types of things. And I'm a big fan of affirmations. I love doing affirmations. I was taught affirmations when I was 19 years old. I went to my first personal growth program when I was 19, and they taught me affirmations or declarations, which is a positive out loud statement to create your life. And we're always talking, but inside our head and outside our head. And most of the time, honestly, if you listen to people, it's negative. And affirmations are a way to affirm who you are, who you want to be, what you want to create. And so I have an affirmation for you. If fear of success and negative beliefs around success is a potential problem for you. So I accept, receive, and am worthy of all the gifts, abundance, and success that flow into my life. I accept, receive, and am worthy of all the gifts, abundance, and success that flow into my life. Sometimes the fear of success is just not feeling worthy of it. And if you are here taking a breath in this moment, listening to this video, you are worthy of everything that's in your heart to have and to be and to do and to experience and to make a difference. So with that, I bless you with gifts of abundance and success and worthiness. Take care. We'll see you next time.